Hey Wookiees, Rebels, and more. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we have a very fun episode. I invited my wife to join me. This is Cassie.
Yes.
Say hello to the people.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. I want to be in more videos.
I can make that happen. So today we are going through our top 10 moments of the TV shows and movies, and we're gonna kind of just bounce back and forth. We'll start with you. We'll go with 10, and we'll do 10, 9, 9, 8, 8 until we get to our favorite moment in Star Wars history.
Yes.
Or in Star Wars movies and shows.
Yes. So, okay, my number 10 was episode 3 when Padme tells Anakin she's pregnant.
Nah, I can guess why you chose this one.
Yes, because we're pregnant, but then...
Because we are expecting our first.
Our baby in 3 months, so it's coming up soon. And I don't know how pregnant she is in that moment, but it's so cute how he's like happy, but it has that like reaction of like, wait, what?
Right.
Like,
and you
what?
see it in his face. He's like...
He does do a good job there, but it's number 10 because of his cringy acting still. Because it is so
He has a little
cringy.
wooden.
It's kind of like, I was rewatching and I was like, but it's like still cute. Because they're having a baby. And then he is happy.
I really like that. Yeah, you can see that Padme's clearly like worried. Because she's like, this could really ruin us. And Anakin's like, hey, this could ruin us, but
Let's be happy.
we need a moment. We've been in a war for the past 3 years. This is a happy moment. This is not a bad moment. This is a happy moment.
Really cute.
I also never thought about it, but you're kind of pointing it out. Yeah, does episode 3 take place over 9 months?
No, yeah, she's telling him, and remember, you couldn't really tell, and she's wearing big clothes. You can't really tell you can tell I was pregnant till like 4.5, 5 months. I could have probably still even hidden it, especially with Padme's style of clothing.
Right, with her, because she
So
wears
it's probably more like around 4 months time period.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Now we need to think about that.
I've actually never looked that up.
No, we need to think about that.
Number 10 for me is in the Kenobi series when Obi-Wan has to like describe Leia's mom and ends up describing Padme, and Leia is like, this is too vivid. You knew her?
Yeah.
Are you my dad? And it's like, no, but I know exactly who they are and I could answer all of your questions. And you just, the restraint he has, like...
Hey, that actually so ties into my moment.
Now that Leia has questions, Obi-Wan has this opportunity where he could tell her everything, and he's like, I can't. It's not my place. And it's you can see just all the pain that Obi-Wan has.
No, I do like that scene. Like if I had to choose one scene from Obi-Wan that was good, that scene is a good one. There's a few others, but that's a very good scene, and I like that little actress.
She did a great job.
She's very cute. Okay, so my number 9 was the moment where Han says, I love you to Leia, and then Leia says, I know.
Oh, so in
episode
6,
the
not
first
5.
time, yeah, it's in 6.
I love you. I know.
Hands up!
6.
That's a good one.
Because it's very cute.
That's a very good one.
I just like anything with Han and Leia, or love, or romance.
That has their, like, the Leia Han banter.
Yes.
That's really
Very
great.
classic.
All right. My number 9 is the reveal of Grogu. When Baby Yoda was first revealed, like, we're so oversaturated with it now.
I
but
know. I was literally looking at this room when you said Baby Yoda, and it's just like, there's that blanket, there's that stuffed animal, you know. You forget that, like, originally it was
there is no
what
merchandise.
Is that?
And I thought it was one of the coolest things, and I've never seen Disney having restraint like this, where they're like, we're not going to reveal it ahead of time. So that moment was only good, in my opinion, because it was such a big secret.
Yeah.
And I didn't get spoiled for it. And I usually get spoiled for the big moments, which is really annoying, but I try and avoid stuff.
Yeah, you didn't find any spoilers. You didn't get spoiled.
So,
that was so
That was very,
good.
very exciting.
You forget, yeah, but that's what started it all. The craziness.
The craziness.
Okay, so my number 8 was the moment where Luminara and Barriss walk up to Anakin and Ahsoka fighting in that one where they are decoys under the mountain and get trapped. The actual title of the episode is
they're not decoys. They're trying
Weapons Factory.
Yeah, this is when they go under the bridge because they're gonna
But
destroy...
Anakin and Luminara are decoys.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
I thought you were talking about... Yeah.
I like that one because I was saying it's because it shows the kind of parenting. I would watch it like as a teenager, and I was like, I kind of want to have the parenting relationship of Ahsoka and Anakin over the Barriss and Luminara one, because they juxtapose them really well. And then the consequences of having that super stiff, forced respect, like, I'm not really telling you what I feel relationship.
Well, Barriss, aren't you going to introduce yourself?
Padawan learner, Barriss Offee, at your service.
Comes out later that has issues clearly, and then Anakin and Ahsoka, even though they don't look like they love each other, they actually love each other so much more than Barriss.
Well, like,
and Luminara.
Ahsoka can speak her mind.
Yeah, and feel comfortable.
The relationship.
And
Whether
like,
Anakin...
And ultimately, though, she still respects Anakin, though.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I love. And, like, I want to be that kind of parent.
Right,
and
she might be disrespectful in the moment, but overall,
she could have done better in the moment, but I still like that they were able to fight openly in that sense and disagree, because, you know, I like that. And
Versus,
I want our kids
like,
to feel comfortable disagreeing.
Yeah, Barriss, definitely, if she has any, like,
she's gonna
problem,
hide it.
she's like, I guess I gotta bottle this up.
Which, bottling it up is so bad. And so...
Well, we know how that turns out.
Exactly.
I've never really thought about that moment, but you're totally right. That totally foreshadows Barriss's descent.
Ultimate rebellion, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like really... There's a lot there in that scene. That's why it's made this list. Because it's always impacted me.
All right, my turn?
You're 8.
Yeah. So my number 8 is when Kanan sees Hera for the last time. So throughout that last season, it's definitely like this moment where Hera and Kanan are starting to get some on-screen chemistry.
I forgot about their romance, actually, or I would have probably picked something from Rebels. But I didn't pick anything. But I love their romance.
They have a really good story.
I love that they're the mom and
But
dad
there's a
and shit.
moment right before they go into Lothal and go into the final battle where Kanan has this moment where he's like, I wish I could see you one more time. You know, it's like, I wish I could see you. And Hera is very nice, and she like traces his scar, and it was very sweet. When he uses the Force and it heals his vision in the last seconds, so that it's almost like his self-sacrifice is what is like he gets something in return. Yeah. You know, that he gets to see her for one last time.
Yeah, I love it reminded me of the book that you get to see their love story in, and I would reread that now.
That was a good book.
It was so long ago I read it, but that is also so cute.
With Count Vidian.
Yeah, that was a really good book.
Honestly, that's a good one to start people on. Like if you're
that is a good one.
If you're nervous about Star Wars books, or if you're thinking like
that one and Bloodline are my recommendations.
Bloodline is also
top
really
2 for like starter books.
All right, number 7.
For me, the moment in the elevator where Anakin is teasing Obi-Wan about his past with Duchess Satine.
Oh, in the Clone Wars during
it's called Voyage of Temptation is the episode name.
That's a good one.
And I like that one because it's so cute seeing their banter, and they love elevator banter.
For some reason, Anakin and Obi-Wan, they do really well in elevators together.
It's so cute, and it's truly adorable how they treat each other like brothers. And then he's like, go save your girlfriend. And Obi-Wan's like, that's not my girlfriend. She's not my girlfriend. It's like, oh my gosh.
They're in this
two
terrible,
are
like
2 little teenagers.
They're in this moment where it's like,
super tense.
So Obi-Wan, you go find your girlfriend. Right. No.
It's super tense, and Obi-Wan stops to be like, no, she's not, and it's like he has to remind himself this is not the time and run away.
It's so cute.
But it's so funny because Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship is supposed to be this brotherhood, and that's something my brother
to point that out,
and I have joked about. Like anytime he talks about a girl, I'm like, oh, your girlfriend, because it's just this teasing brotherly nature that you have.
And that's what Clone Wars did
and
good.
Clone Wars did that perfectly, and I never really thought about it like that, but that totally adds that brotherly teasing that you don't you didn't get in the movies at all.
And of course,
Naturally.
Dutch is a teen, so it's of course perfect. And
My number 7 is Vader just wiping the floor with all the rebels in Rogue One at the end.
the hallway scene,
The famous hallway scene. Because like you have to understand,
very powerful.
when I grew up with Vader, I knew who he was from the beginning. It's not like I got this moment where it's like, oh, this is my intro to Darth Vader. It's kind of like I always knew who he was. And because of that, I always knew he was Anakin, and I always knew he returned to the light. I don't really remember a time where I didn't know he returned. And because of that, I don't think I ever saw him as like a threat or super scary. Until watching Rogue One in the theater and just seeing like
I can see that.
him just wiping the floor with all these, like the one rebel that he just like slams into the ceiling. And then he just casually cuts his stomach like as he walks by.
It's super
It's
epic.
terrifying. And like seeing their faces as they're like, just take it. We're not going to make it. Just take it and go.
Yeah.
Was terrifying.
That's true.
They turned Star Wars into a horror movie for like 2 seconds.
That's true. It's a good one. That's a very good one. I chose for number 6, the train scene from Solo, and when
With the coaxium?
yes, because I was using it as a great example of like, yeah, a suspenseful action scene. And honestly, that scene is what makes the entire movie for me. It's so good at balancing sacrifice, like meaningful sacrifice, suspense, CGI, super cool looking, character growth, like all of that in one scene of action that's not boring, but really cool. And it's just so well balanced.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised
And
that
they lose.
2 characters die.
They lose.
And they lose the coaxium in an epic explosion.
Very epic
Yeah, that was cool.
explosion too. That also makes it even better.
All right, so my number 6 is the finale of Rebels when Ezra and Thrawn go into unknown space. And the way that Ezra sets up his like self-sacrifice, like he knows going into this fight, he's not coming out. Because he tells Sabine like, hey, just in case, like, here's some contingencies to like come find me and take care of Lethal. And Sabine's like, what are you saying to me right now?
Yeah.
And he's like, you'll understand.
I just don't like
And
it.
when you see the Purrgil like coming and just like attaching themselves, it's so cool. It's so awesome, and everything's
I
floating.
will never like that scene.
And
because
just
it's so ambiguous and
well, luckily we are getting. I think we're getting answers. I mean,
I know they hired.
we've gotten Sabine.
actor.
We've seen set photos of like.
I know, which will help.
We're gonna see what happened to Ezra. I really am so curious, and that mystery box, and creating that mystery box of this beloved character who like starts off as a kid, and in this last episode he's no longer the kid. He's like taking the mission on himself.
Yeah.
He's like, Kanan's no longer here. I have to step up.
Yeah. It's just.
And he takes Kanan's example of self-sacrifice, and saves all of Lethal.
Yes. I get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
5 for me is in Rogue One when the city of Jeddah explodes.
That's a
Because
great moment.
that one, once again, very well done, but I love that they actually get you to feel how small you are compared to the explosion. Your brain can grasp the true power of the Death Star much better than an entire planet. Or 3 planets
We don't need to do
exploding.
this.
And so your brain can actually get what's going on, feel it, and it has the awesome one-liner from K2. Of like,
horizon.
there's a problem on the horizon. There's no horizon.
There's no
And it's
horizon.
Although there's a problem on the horizon, there's no horizon.
so good, quotable, epic, and you just truly get the feel of power and scaredness, and it's so cool. Okay.
Well, and in the comics, like, it lingers on. Like, it's not a surface level explosion. Like, there's a permanent chunk of that planet that's
crazy.
completely gone.
Yeah.
I
love
also I was also thinking, you said, like, there's a good point of scale, and that's exactly why they hired Gareth Edwards to direct that movie. He
That's
did
right.
Godzilla.
He did a really good job the whole
And-
movie.
Yeah. But he's such a good director at, like, doing scale, and that's originally why he was brought
That makes
on.
a lot of sense.
And that's why you get so many shots of, like, the Death Star.
It's so impressively
Yeah.
well done, yes.
It was great. All right.
Your number 5.
My number 5 is Luke Skywalker's Force projection. Hear me out,
Oh, yes.
okay? She doesn't like them, but I'm of the mind that they're not that bad. I know I'm in the minority.
What's there?
The sequel trilogy.
Oh,
I'm of the mind that the sequel trilogy is not that bad.
I know. And your edits are good. Anyways, continue
Thanks.
with your reasons for why you like this.
But I think when Luke projects himself, it is the best embodiment of, like, being a Jedi that we have seen on screen. When he's able to, one, sacrifice himself
Yes.
to go onto the plane, and he can't actually really do anything but distract, which means he's representing the Jedi as a group that does not attack, but they are solely there for defense, and he's there to just bewilder and inspire the galaxy. And at least in my
I
edits,
think it would be so much more inspiring if he was like a physical martyr.
sure.
And then the, like...
But I think the
and-
walkers would have just taken him out.
Which is fine. Like, he's gonna die anyways. But, like, then there's not the subversion of expectations, which isn't bad, but it's like the
No, but it
sixth
is a bad
one.
word in episode 8.
It's the 6th one
Because,
of
like,
the
you-
episode, and
It has too many.
it's just kind of tiring at that point. And
At
it's
that
like,
point, you're like, another
of course
one.
something doesn't actually appear as it is, and you're just kind of like, this also makes no sense. I've never seen this. What's going on? I'm so confused. And
For me, it was like when I saw Yoda absorbing stuff, and like I figured Luke has trained to this point where he knows Jedi powers that we could not have perceived before. He's beyond. He's
which I get.
he's
I get
Jedi master.
No, yum.
Number 4.
When Anakin hugs Ahsoka after she dies on the planet Mortis.
Oh, in the Mortis arc when
In the
she's
last one.
possessed.
Well, yeah, and she basically has like life drained out of her. But it's so cute, just how he hugs her when she comes back.
Because he cares.
Because he
loves
loves her so much, and it's so cute. And it's just like, ugh, I love seeing him show affection like that. And
Well, not
the
just
whole
that,
series,
how angry he gets too.
well, the whole arc on Mortis, I love those episodes so much. I feel like some people either love them or hate them. I'm in the camp, I love them.
No, I love
I
them
think they're
so much.
so cool, so out there. Of course, I love the daughter.
I really
It's
want.
awesome.
This goes to my re-edits a little more, but I really think it would be a huge benefit to add hints and Easter eggs to Mortis and those like Force gods and Force deities into the movie. Like especially the brother. Like if we could
Yeah.
represent
so
him on
cool.
Exegol or something, that could be super
The
cool.
services are like so out there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so cool. Such a weird detour
So
the
weird.
series takes. But
All right.
4.
My number 4 is the prison escape in Andor.
I did not put that on here, but it is
It's a good one.
very good. I thought about
It
it.
should have been on there.
No.
I mean,
No.
your list should be just like my list.
No.
When Andor goes to prison, I was like, how is he going to get out of this? I originally thought the rebels were going to come and save him, and that's how he was going to be recruited. That the rebels were going to come in, and he was like almost identical to Jyn Erso, and like they were going to do like this parallel. But the fact that he broke out and like themselves is so well done. And the hopelessness you get halfway through the prison arc is so defeating.
Well, the prison arc, it's so good because it's anyone. You don't have to know Star Wars very well. It's just immediately drawn into the story.
Oh yeah.
So intensely that you like finish it and you're just like, whoa.
Whoa.
What did I just watch? That was freaking awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It was
anyone.
so good.
You don't have to be a Star Wars nerd to love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they went from like absolute hopelessness to the one way out chant, and like
Yeah, it's so good.
a night. It was great.
My number 3 is actually from Andor. Mine's the escape scene in Andor, but with the eye.
Oh, that's a good
I
one
love
too.
that one because that one's my version of like most people compare. Well, maybe it's just us actually, but like the Top Gun Maverick suspense and building that suspense to an epic scene. And then watching the one from Andor with the eye, like the CGI, the colors, the suspense that's built, all the characters, everything going on. It's so well done. I watched that whole end scene being like, wow, this should have been the ending of like, why couldn't the finale of all of Star Wars have been this epic? Because it's such a different epic than having like a million ships in the sky with like a million planet destroyers. Like, what? Anyway, so then it's so emotionally, and the fact that the shaky cam isn't overdone.
It's not overdone.
I
They
love
really
it. Like, I
wanted you to
can
take in the
actually
spectacle.
see what's going on in the ship, outside the ship. It's not
I also
beyond
loved the way that they poked at like old technology and the way that it was like that was how they got out versus the new TIE fighters were like,
I don't know how to do
yeah, they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
The analog device is what got them out,
It's
which was
just,
so
like,
much fun.
Every time I watch that scene, it's just like,
And the
you
TIE
can't
fighter,
look away.
the TIE fighters like
Blowing up.
getting into the ship, and the TIE fighter. I don't think I felt like TIE fighters were more real until like Andor and in that scene.
I love that scene.
I also think like building suspense wise, when you see the first one fly over and you're like, was that it? And then
Yeah,
it's like
so
boom, 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 boom. That was amazing.
Very good. Okay, that's
All
my
right.
number 3.
My number 3 is in Clone Wars, and is when Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Temple. You have to imagine, I first watched this when it came out on Cartoon Network, and little Michael Dean was crying.
Cry.
I was crying.
I did not cry.
No. But for me, this was the end. They weren't making any more Clone Wars. It was canceled afterwards. So I was like, this is how it ends.
It's a fade out ending.
And I was like, I'm a fan of happy endings. I mean,
I love them too.
no, I know you are, but like, I couldn't imagine where Ahsoka was gonna go. The only thing that I was glad is that she got out of the temple because I know Order 66 is coming, right?
Yes.
So,
I like
and
it.
you have to get her out of, because you have to ask the question, why isn't she in Revenge of the Sith? And this is her perfect exit.
Yeah.
But how she exited was just like, it was a bullet to the chest.
But I guess in a good way, because it is your number 3.
Well, it's in my top like most memorable moments. I remember where I was in the living room. I
I see. Yeah, I just always imagined she went off with Lux.
yeah,
on
you.
Terry and got
She
married
went
and
down
had
to
babies.
the first
She was so
stall.
happy. She
was
said,
like, "Hey, Lux,
I'm
I'm
single.
out.
I'm out of
I don't
the
have to
Jedi
listen to the
order.
Jedi
Let's
order."
get together." And yeah, and then they live happily ever after.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
what I pictured. It's a much
I guess I always
better
saw her
ending in my
like
head.
trying to be a Jedi and just constantly.
Nah, she settles down.
He settles down. Got it. My
That's
bad.
what happens. So my number 2
Two.
is
Round two.
when Han says, "I'm a nice man," and then kisses Leia in
Such a good
episode
moment.
5.
I happen to like nice men. Nice men. Very nice.
Sir, I've isolated the reverse power flux coupling.
Because we will have to rewatch it, because he kisses her and he's so happy and on a high, and I love it because she's like all taken aback, and I love anything with Harrison Ford. Like,
Naturally.
I was rewatching and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how cute he is. Like, he is so cute, and he kind of reminds me of you. So
No way.
That's why
I'm-
I totally see you and Harrison Ford, and that's
Way more of a nerd. Harrison's way too cool for me.
You're cool. And so I think you're cool. And so I love seeing that scene and their cute love story starting, and then I think it's funny when C-3PO walks in and like taps him on the shoulder
It's
and
like, "I've done
out of
something."
the kiss. But he's just like, thank you. And he's so nice to him. I think he has a good reaction. He's kind of on a high.
I guess I've always seen that as when 3PO comes in, he's interrupting them, and Han is like, dude, you're ruining my moment.
And
This is my
He's
moment.
literally just so on high. He's happy.
So
And
he's
he
like,
doesn't even
"Thank
like,
you."
no, to me it's like, thank you.
Oh, okay.
I'm so on a high right now. Like, I can't even get mad at you. We'll rewatch it.
I really do like the Leia's like, I happen to nice like men.
Well, it's like-
and then
it's like,
he's like, I'm a nice guy.
He's like, I'm a nice man.
Like, what a Han
They're
Solo
talking
thing to
about
do.
him being a scoundrel, and she's like, I only like nice men.
Right. But like,
Yeah.
what a
I know to switch.
like Han is like, I'm nice.
I'm
I can be
nice.
nice.
Yes. I would watch all of episode 5 again just for that scene. Just for the scenes with them in it. Honestly, though, I watched the whole thing. Surprise.
So my number 2 is when Luke attacks Vader after Vader threatens Leia. He kind of threatens Leia, but there's this part in episode 6 when during the final duel where Luke feels scared, so he like goes and hides, and Vader takes this opportunity to like read Luke's mind. And this is when Luke is like thinking about all his fears, so when that's at the top of his mind, that's what Vader can pick at.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you have a sister. And this is when Vader gets to learn that he has a daughter. And Luke, that's his biggest fear, is that Vader would get to Leia and then Leia would turn to the dark side. So his immediate reaction is just to like attack. And that is what actually makes Luke more powerful and stronger than Vader. In that moment, that's when the tide turns.
Never thought about that.
Is
so
when
deeply.
when Luke embraces the dark side at the threat of Leia's life. That's what turns the tide in that fight. So that's a great moment.
I'll always see that scene differently, actually, after you explain it like that. That's good. So it's number 1 time?
Number 1 time.
My number 1 is unique to me because
I think I know what it is.
it's very special. It's the scene in episode 2 where Anakin is standing outside, hands behind his back, and Padme walks out in her gorgeous, beautiful white dress, blue nightgown, perfect curls, beautiful makeup. And the reason I love that scene so much is because I stood exactly where Anakin stood in Lake Como on that villa. And I can say every time I watch that scene, oh my gosh, I stood right there.
Been there.
Right there. Where his feet were, my feet were.
We need to find that picture.
We will find that because I took a picture.
Yeah.
Yes, from the back, like of
It's
me
almost- it's
standing
identical.
there. I didn't, like I positioned it as good as I could. I was like 19. I was being crazy 19-year-old traveling Europe, but I sent it to you. I texted it to you. We weren't dating yet even.
Yeah, we weren't even
It
dating.
just made you so jealous.
I was just that friend who
But I
likes
was like
Star Wars.
freaking out because I was like, I purposefully wanted to visit this place because it is the villa of episode 2. And
That's Padme's lake house.
And like it's so stunningly beautiful in person, and to like watch that scene and know what it looks like in real life, and have that feeling. / I just love how gorgeous Padme looks, and all of the meaning
That's how
behind
she
that
gets
scene.
up naturally, by the way.
Oh,
No
totally.
help.
I want to look just like that every morning. But
do.
it is, but it's totally just my favorite scene. I'll watch all of episode 2 just for that scene, easily.
I don't think anyone on the face of this planet but you has
Loves that scene
has
so
episode,
much.
has episode 2 as their number 1. Has any scene from
It's
episode
also
2.
my favorite movie. I say episode 2
That
often
bold.
because of me visiting where it was filmed.
Gotcha.
So many places.
Yeah, not it's story, it's content, none of that. Just
No.
you've been there.
And the costumes are so good
The
too,
costumes
though.
are really good.
There's a
have to admit.
wedding.
There's a wedding.
It's
You're a sucker.
so. I love it. Okay, your
All
number
right,
1.
My number 1 is Anakin's funeral and the end of Return of the Jedi. Now this one can be kind of a hot topic because there are like 2 versions.
Yes.
But ultimately, the shots of Luke staring in, or the shots of Luke lighting Vader's funeral and like Viking funeral style, watching it burn, and you get Vader's silhouette one last time. You get you get Luke's face, like it's over now. He's at peace.
Would have been
Like-
a great ending.
We don't need to do that.
Solid ending.
There's 3 more.
Anyway.
There's 3 more to go.
Anyways.
and then we get Anakin later down the line, whichever version you prefer. But yeah, that's such a great moment
Powerful.
where the music just hits, and no
Yeah,
matter which version
yeah.
you're watching,
I know the
it
song
pans
that's
up,
playing,
and you
yeah.
get those fire light leaks,
Yes.
followed by the
Yes.
X-wing
Yes. And
doing
the
fireworks. Ugh,
Yeah, I should have fireworks at my
I
funeral.
ooze for that scene every
I'll
time.
give you fireworks at your funeral.
Thank you. That's what I need.
Yes.
But yeah, that's it. Please let us know if you like this video. Tell us what are your favorite Star Wars moments, and if ours are bad or good.
Totally off kilter.
Yeah.
Weird.
If ours just went way off. I mean,
Yeah.
some of yours were bad, but
Anyways, I'm excited. We'll
Yeah.
do more.
thank you guys so much, and we'll see y'all in the next one.